Guys, what's going on? Guys, I saw some of your comments about the Brook video that I did. I wanted to do a follow-up video on that. I'm going to be doing quite a few videos, obviously, leading up to the fight. But I don't want to do, at the minute, there's still some big fights coming up. But I want to touch on something. I'm shocked that Terence Crawford hasn't got a rematch clause. I don't know if he has or he hasn't. Because we know Lomachenko didn't, and Bob Arum did say in an interview that he hasn't got a rematch clause. And I am shocked. Because if Kell Brook beats Terence Crawford and there's no rematch clause, Kell Brook's got Terence Crawford by the you-know-what. Right? A lot of you said to me, you know what? You want Kell Brook to lose. Right? In this fight. Let me tell you something. If Kell Brook wins, I will get a lot of satisfaction. I will get a lot of satisfaction. And I think Kell Brook will get a lot of satisfaction. And if Kell Brook's strong-minded, right, because let's be honest, Eddie Hearn's done him good and proper. I don't know whether Kell Brook will take this stance. The fact that there's no rematch, it's a big if, by the way. You know, I'm not giving Kell Brook a huge chance, but if he does pull it off, and in boxing, you never say never. Kell Brook has got Crawford by the you-know-what, and he's got Eddie Hearn by the you-know-what. Right? Can you imagine, someone pointed this out to me. That if Brook beats Crawford, right, there's no rematch clause. Brook is going to go on to do his own thing. He don't have to fight Crawford again if there's no rematch clause. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but from what Bob Arum's been saying, there isn't a rematch clause. On that basis, Kell Brook's going to be the welterweight champion. Right? And Kell Brook can do what he wants. Some people were saying Thurman, Pacquiao, or Thurman's won't be a champion. I think Kell Brook needs to jump into huge fights. However, I'm not sure Brook's going to want to fancy Spence again. I don't think that's a right fight for him at this stage in his career. Crawford, for me, it's a hard fight, and he could get outboxed and he could get beaten up over a couple of. But with Errol Spence, at the stage that Kell Brook is, Spence is too gritty, he's too tough, he punches very hard, he's big, he's strong, he takes a good punch. That's a tough fight for Kell Brook at this stage in his career. Especially, we don't know where Spence is at. Spence might be, we'll find out more against Garcia. Spence just was involved in an accident last year. We don't know what he's got left. He may be finished. We don't know. But in my opinion, I think this is what Kell Brook might do. And just imagine if this happens, right? Eddie Hearn would be gutted. Just imagine if Kell Brook contacts Amir Khan and says, let's make this fight, and cuts out Eddie Hearn from the deal. Eddie Hearn's been he's tried to make this fight for a decade. Imagine, someone was saying this to me, imagine if Kell Brook and Khan come to an agreement and decide to fight, because obviously there'll be a massive carrot dangled to Khan, the fact that Khan got beat by Crawford convincingly, and Kell Brook's just gone and beat him, and Brook will be a world champion, and it would be a huge fight here in the UK. Imagine if Eddie Hearn's cut out the deal. Imagine that would be a kick in the nuts for Eddie Hearn. And listen, it's a big shot. It's a big shot because he's got to beat Crawford. But like I said, it wouldn't shock me, because to me personally, I honestly believe if Brook wins that fight, Brook's not going to start chasing Pacquiao and all. I don't see him, and I don't think like someone was saying, will Pacquiao fight him? I don't think Pacquiao would. Because Pacquiao's looking for those big mega paydays, and I don't think Brook, even with a win over Crawford, is going to be that. But the fights with Spence, but does Brook really want to fight Spence again? It's a decent payday, but it's a dangerous fight. He'll be an underdog in that fight. The guy's big, strong. I don't like that fight for Brook. But Khan is a winnable fight. It's a mega payday. it's a fight that if he beats Crawford, he'd be a massive favourite in to win, right? I think I wouldn't be shocked if Brook contacts Khan himself and they cut Hearn out the deal. But again, what do I think? Do I think this would happen? Do I think this would happen? I don't. I just don't. Because firstly, I don't know whether Kell Brook's mentally strong like that, where he can. I don't think he'd do that. I think he'd want that fight on Sky Sports pay-per-view, and in order for that fight to be on Sky Sports pay-per-view, Eddie Hearn's got to be involved. Now I know Sky have taken fights where Eddie Hearn's had no involvement. Klitschko's and Fury was one that they were involved, but Hearn had some kind of involvement. But I don't know of recent time has Hearn been involved. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but that would be Kell Brook. That would be Kell Brook getting back at Hearn nicely. Imagine there's a promoter that's wanted to make a fight for a decade so badly, more than probably any fight. Obviously, he wants to make Joshua Fury, which is a way bigger fight than Kell Brook now. But that would be a kick in the... That would be. Especially if Kell Brook pulls it off, because all of a sudden that fight becomes a mega fight here in the UK. That becomes a massive fight. Right? And that should be Kell Brook's motivation. The fact that if he beats Terence Crawford, all the doors open up. When he said I beat Sean Porter, right? He said all the doors would open up, but they didn't. Eddie Hearn wasn't able to deliver him the big fights. If Kell Brook beats Terence Crawford, all those doors open up for him, and he doesn't even have to give the man a rematch. That's what I'm hearing. There's no rematch clause. So Brook needs to go in there and put it all on the line. If he wins, can you imagine how much money he could make? He could have it off. You know, again, I don't think he should go near Spence. That rematch, I think it's out of his grasp where he's at his career. I think Spence is too big, too strong right now. I think he's too big, too strong, too gritty, fresh. But again, we don't know where Spence is at. If Spence is the old Spence, then for me, that's not a fight he should look for. But if Spence, he needs to, obviously he's going to fight Crawford first. Then if he beats Crawford, he could have a look at the landscape. Who knows? Garcia might beat Spence. Is Garcia Spence's mandatory? I think he is. And that means Garcia wouldn't have to give Spence a rematch either. We just don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered. You know, with boxing, you never know. You know, we're talking about Joshua Fury right now. We may be talking about Pulev and someone else. If Joshua and Fury lose anything in boxing, you never know. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. Is Kell Brook going to be able to pull off this massive upset against Terence Crawford? Is Errol Spence the same fighter? Is Danny Garcia going to beat Errol Spence? There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's no certainty in boxing. I think personally, Kell Brook could have it off. He could have it off. If he pulls this off, he could have it off. And that's why I want him to have it off, because he's had a tough career. And more importantly, listen, I understand it's Eddie Hearn, it's a business and stuff, but I feel like Kell Brook's been treated badly here. You know, and it wouldn't be more satisfying for the fight fans, for Kell Brook. Imagine the man holds all the cards. There's no rematch clause. He can do what he wants. He can fight Khan. He can fight whoever, and he's a free agent. He can negotiate the fight with anyone he wants. You know, he can contact Khan directly. He can contact Pacquiao directly. The only problem is with Brook. Does his team have that kind of nous where they can kind of make these fights? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I think that, you know, it would be brilliant for Kell Brook if he can pull off the upset. And that would open up so many doors for him. Let's see what happens. There's a couple of weeks left. Let's see what happens. Guys, I also want to talk about a fight that's been announced. Billy Joe Saunders will be taking on Martin Murray in a fight which I think's a good fight. Obviously, Murray's came out of retirement. It's a fight that should have happened. It was cancelled twice before. And I think it's fair that Billy Joe's giving Martin Murray a crack. All I'm going to say, Billy Joe's a favorite to win this fight. Don't sleep on Martin Murray. Martin Murray has had it very, very tough in his career. And he's a very underrated fighter. He's a tough guy with a granite chin, with a great chin. And I feel like he's been done bad a few times, you know, in his world title fights. He's a warrior. He travels to the champion's backyard, and he's put in great account of himself. You know, I think he's lost 4 times. One to Arthur Abraham, which I thought was very close. I think did he fight Felix Sturm and Sergio Martinez? I can't remember. Again, they were very close, very good fights. Murray's a warrior. You know, Golovkin was the only one where he was completely, you know, he was battered in that fight. But the other 3, Murray could have easily been a world champion. Murray's going to be a tough test for Billy Joe. I think Murray's going to put it all on the line. I know people will probably expect Billy Joe to just outbox him and school him, which probably happens, but I'm not sleeping on Murray. I think Murray's going to put it on him. I think Murray's going to be one of those guys, not like Lemieux. Murray's going to really put it on him. He's going to make it a rough and tough fight for Billy Joe Saunders. I don't think this is going to be as easy as what people make out it may be. I think this is going to be tough. Because Martin Murray doesn't come in any fight to roll over. And Billy Joe Saunders isn't a big puncher. At most, what can happen when you fight Billy Joe Saunders? He outboxes you and schools you. That's the most that can happen. He's not like he's going to go in and hurt you and really, you know, like a Golovkin. Golovkin can really beat you up. You know, Murray, on the other hand, Saunders, on the other hand, he's probably going to outbox you. You know, you're not going to be hurt or really battered. You could, it's boxing, but you know, with Billy Joe Saunders, he's more of a boxer, slick boxer. He's not going in there to. He doesn't really hurt people in the sense that, you know, he doesn't go in and it's not a dangerous fight. What I mean, you know, for me, Murray can be outboxed in this fight and outclassed. Whereas if you're fighting someone like a Golovkin, you know, you could be not cold. You know, Billy Joe Saunders hasn't really shown in his career that he's a concussive puncher like that. So I think Martin Murray's going to give it his all, and I think it's going to be a great fight. Listen, I don't sleep on Martin Murray. Don't sleep on Martin Murray in this one. I do think it's a lot closer. It's not close in the sense that I think Billy Joe's a massive favourite. But what I mean is I think Martin Murray's style, like for some reason, I just think he's going to do well in this fight. Whether he's good enough to win, I don't think so. But I do think Murray's going to bring it, man. I think Murray's going to bring it and put in a good fight. A lot of people are poo-pooing the fight. You know, Murray's a good fighter, man. Murray's fought game at world level. He's fought game. He's been unlucky, man. He's been unlucky. He's fought some incredible world champions. He's fought some really great fighters, and he did well. Apart from Golovkin, he held his own in all those fights. You know, Murray's a quality fighter. Murray's a lot better than Shifat Asufi. I would have preferred to see Billy Joe fight Murray for the vacant title than fight Shifat Asufi. You know, Murray's a game guy. I don't think we should sleep on someone like that. You know, he's tough, rough and tough. And he's gonna bring it, man. He's gonna bring it. You know what I mean? I like the fight. I'm gonna be tuning into that fight for sure. Murray deserves his crack. You know, yes, he's retired and he passed his people will say he's passed his best. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's still gonna come and bring it and give a good account of himself. He's probably gonna come up short, but you never know. This is boxing, and someone like Martin Murray who brings it, and you know, every time he fights. You know, there's no quitting this man. There's no quitting Martin Murray. He's gonna give it his all. You know, he's gonna give it his all, and it's not gonna be an easy night for Billy Joe Saunders, in my opinion. Obviously, it depends what Murray has left, but just stylistically, I think Murray is not gonna be that easy, personally. But let's see. Only time will tell. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.